Yo, what is up guys and welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Hostility and today I have another PC build video for you guys, and today we are going to be doing the Overkill, absolutely Overkill $5,000 budget. And just before I kick the video off, I just want to apologize for the lack of uploads recently. I've been trying to stick to once a week and I have been doing that, but here and there I've been trying to fit in a little bit more content, but I've just missed some of it. But the Battlefield 1 beta is out right now, and like I'm straying a little bit off topic, but I will want to upload some of that as well as stream some of it as well. And unfortunately, I can't use it in the background because I haven't even played the game as of the recording of this video. But I'm pretty excited for the game, anyways. So going on to the build, this build is just absolute overkill. Like I did the $5,000 build, and a lot of people really liked it. Actually, it was one of the most viewed videos on my channel at one point. So I thought I might as well do it again because a lot of people like to fantasize and hope and think that they would be able to have a dream build like this, and maybe you might one day be able to build a PC like this, but you know, you get to the point where it's kind of like a diminishing return where the more you spend on a PC, the less kind of performance gain you will have. But either way, if you have just all the Benjamins in the world and you just want to spend a lot of money on this PC, here you go, this one's for you. So kicking it off with the CPU, I've chosen the Intel Core i7-6900K 3.2GHz 8-core processor. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, why didn't I choose a 6950X? Well, that thing is really expensive, $700 more than this processor actually, and I just don't really think that someone would need that extra performance. Like as I mentioned earlier about the diminishing return, you're not going to get much extra performance gain with that, but with the 6900K it is a step up from the other 6800Ks. You get extra PCI-E lanes. This is just the replacement for the 5960X, and overall very very fantastic CPU. You'll definitely have no issues with performance right here. Pretty overkill for gaming if you're just building this PC for gaming, but I assume if you're spending $5,000 on a PC, you're gonna definitely do some video editing, very CPU intensive work. It is clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. Obviously you can overclock it, and it has 8 cores, so multitasking will be an absolute breeze with this thing. Going on to the CPU cooler, I've chosen the Thermaltake Water 3.0 Ring RGB 360 liquid CPU cooler, and this is a little bit of a fancy CPU cooler. Obviously, if you are in the $5,000 budget, I would definitely recommend custom water cooling. Definitely getting the extra components for that, because you will get better results, and you are able to water cool other parts as well of your PC, like the video cards, which I'll get onto later. But either way, if you just want to build something, chuck it together and not worry about that, this is a pretty good option because it just adds to the whole RGB effect. It is a 360mm radiator, so you will get an extra cooling for the amount of surface area that you get, and it's just like a kind of a novelty gag, I guess, to have this CPU cooler in there. This is the most expensive CPU cooler, liquid CPU cooler on PC Part Picker. Might as well chuck it in. Going on to the motherboard, I've chosen the Asus Rampage V Edition 10 EATX LGA 2011-3 motherboard, and this is the motherboard of all motherboards. Really doesn't get much better than this. Obviously, Asus's ROG line just sporting the best boards, in my opinion, of like all motherboards. This motherboard will get you really nice overclocks because it is pretty much designed and built for high performance gaming, high performance use and abuse of your PC. So yeah, obviously you get the really high quality components for overclocking, so you're able to push your 6900K a lot further than you would if you use a different motherboard. It has a lot of I/O as well. You are getting the USB 3.1 ports and a USB Type-C, plenty of other USB 2.0 and 3.0 ports as well. You do get Wi-Fi on this board, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0, as well as being able to do 4-way SLI, and you get a whole bunch of overclocking goodies and Asus ROG Game First, all those good things in there, as well as like 10 SATA ports, NVMe SSD support with the M.2 slot, and just overall you will have a fantastic time with this motherboard. You're probably not going to use half the features on it, but either way, this is as good as it gets, and I would definitely highly recommend this board if you are spending $5,000 on a PC. Not to mention it also has RGB lights, and it does have the header on the motherboard, so you can sync all the lights up to color coordinate everything, and yeah, looks pretty sick. So for the memory, I've gone with some Corsair Dominator Platinum 64GB DDR4 3466 memory, and Dominator Platinum memory is also as good as it gets. Like, I think Corsair's releasing a new line of their RAM, and they're gonna make it more flashy with LED lights and stuff. But Dominator Platinum has always been pretty flashy RAM. 64 gigs will be plenty to multitask and to get everything done that you need to do, and just open the mass amounts of Chrome tabs that you will have open if you are building a $5,000 PC. And I'm going to say that a lot in this video, but I didn't go with 128 gigs because obviously, like, who needs 128 gigs of RAM? Maybe some people do, but I doubt the person who is building this computer will. Obviously, if you are building this PC, please let me know, and you can chuck in the extra RAM if you need to. So for the storage, I've chosen the Intel 750 series 400GB PCI-E solid state drive, and PCI-E SSDs are as good as they get, and this build's just about chucking in the fastest and the latest gear possible, and this 750 series SSD will blow your mind. So you're able to put your OS, games, programs, whatever you use most frequently on this SSD to boot up and load everything just lightning fast. Intel makes fantastic PCIe SSDs, and they're pretty much the main brand that you want to go for. Obviously, they're super expensive, but if you're building a PC like this, you have the money for it. So yeah. As well as a buffer for this SSD, I've chosen the ADATA Premier 960GB 2.5-inch solid-state drive, and this just acts like an extra kind of buffer if you want to put extra games, extra programs that you want to run fast but not as fast as your PCIe SSD. Almost 1 terabyte of SSD goodness on this PC. It's insane. I'm kind of blown away, like, thinking about it. As well as to complement these super fast SSDs, I've chosen the Western Digital Caviar Green 3TB 3.5-inch 5400 RPM hard drives, and the reason why I chose 2 is just so you could back up your stuff, so you'd have one backup and like one for, I don't know what kind of way you will use your hard drive, whatever you store on it, you know what I'm talking about, fellas. I don't judge you guys, but yeah, you can figure out storage. Storage is kind of a weird kind of thing for me to configure in builds like this, just because of the freedom that you have. Like, it's really personalizable, but yeah, this is kind of how I would spend $5,000. Now, going into the video card, the kind of nice and really cool part of this build, I've chosen the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 8GB Founders Edition video card in 2-way SLI. Unfortunately, the Titan XP, if you want to call it that, is not available at the time of this recording, or it's out of stock, but I'd definitely go for that if I had the option to. But 2 1080s will give you just blazing fast performance. 4K gaming will be an absolute breeze. VR, just the sheer power in this PC is just it's just enough to blow you out of your mind and just to immerse you in the content. Obviously, you get fantastic 4K performance, 4K 60 FPS. You probably even stream or record in 4K with 2 1080s, especially with the latest titles like I mentioned before, Battlefield 1, GTA 5, all the upcoming ones as well. And this card setup will just crush every single game that you throw at it. Hopefully, at least. SLI does pose a couple of problems, but if you're willing to work around those, this will give you fantastic performance. And I'm kind of stumbling for words right here, but it's kind of hard to describe the performance. I can visualize it, but I haven't experienced it. So yeah, it's cool to fantasize, I guess. Going on to the case, I've chosen the Corsair 900D ATX full tower case, and this case is massive. So you'll have plenty of room for your SLI 1080s, as well as your mountain of hard drives, and your huge EATX board, as well as that 360mm radiator. Not to mention, liquid cooling setups will be really nice in this build as well, because you have all that room to run your tubing and put in radiators and fans and all that good stuff. So yeah, the 900D is a really sleek looking case. I love the Corsair Obsidian line of cases. I have one myself, but not this big. But yeah, really cool case. If you want something a little bit smaller, you can step down to the 750D. But, you know, you kind of want to go all out in this. Going on to the power supply, the last component of the build, I've chosen the EVGA Supernova P2 1200 watt 80 plus platinum certified fully modular ATX power supply. And 1200 watts is more than enough to power this PC, surprisingly, with all the parts inside it. But, you know, if you want to overclock and you want to add extra parts to it, this will definitely have you covered. Maybe you can even step down, I don't know. But 80 plus platinum will be really efficient, fully modular, so you don't have to chuck in some of the cables that you want. And, you know, as a bonus, you probably want to chuck in some like custom wiring, custom cabling with this as well. But EVGA makes fantastic power supplies from the low end to the high end. They've got you covered. So the total of this build is $5,005.75. And that is just an insane amount of money to pay for a PC. And yeah, like I said before, hopefully if you do build this computer, please let me know. Please send me pictures or just let me know how it goes. I really doubt that anyone would build this computer, but it's, you know, it's fun to kind of imagine what you can do with this amount of money. And I talked about diminishing return, how it's kind of not worth it to spend this much money on a PC for the little performance gain that you get from it. But nevertheless, yeah, like I said, it's fun to dream. It's fun to think about what you can do with this amount of money, and just to imagine the kind of like experience you're gonna have with this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think, and if I should do more expensive builds or if I should just stick to the old budget builds. I think I'm gonna I haven't covered very many expensive builds, so I think I'm gonna do a couple more before I return to the budget builds. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself doing this one, and yeah, hopefully I will have some more content in the future. I'm definitely going to be uploading Battlefield 1 and streaming Battlefield 1 in the weekend, so if you want to check out the stream, link is in the description below. But apart from that, leave the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.